wherever you are. Well, let's do that. Everybody get in touch while while they still have those shaker bottles available, and get that going. Get that going. All right, Bob. Fantastic. Well, I, for one, am going to take advantage of these sale prices because I don't want to pay more if I don't have to. But, especially right now, well, let's take this thing and see where the intel is leading us. Thank you again, Bob. Appreciate that so much. Here's where we are. Forever and ever and ever, we've been looking for Iraq to make a rate change that we could know about or believe in. Okay? We've heard of different rates in country. We've heard of different rates that keep going up on their key card, spelled QI, key card, for the citizenry of Iraq. And we know some people that have the key cards, and therefore they can tell us sometimes what the rate is if we convert it. So, what we did receive and got confirmation about was that Saturday was the day that Iraq finally put out a new international rate on the new Iraqi dinar. And it was just $1 less than what Sinon al-Shibibi had predicted that the dinar could support in U.S. dollars back in December, I believe it was December 15th of 2012. I might have the date wrong, but it was in 2012 when he was addressing the United States Chamber of Commerce. Okay? When he said, I believe the dinar will be able to support the rate of, and he said $16. And our understanding is that the new rate, which was 15, was put in the Gazette on Saturday, this past Saturday. And Saturday was a day of total celebration in the country of Iraq. So, that was a big deal. That is a big check mark that we can put on Iraq. Iraq, I think we could say they met all of their financial, they called them monetary reforms. They have completed their monetary reforms, revalued their dinar, put it in the Gazette, and celebrated on Saturday, last Saturday. And as you guys know, the first business day in Iraq is Sunday. Did the celebration continue? I don't know. It could have. But I thought that was excellent that we could put a check mark by Iraq and color Iraq done. Now, so there are people that have said that within 48 hours of the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, it would be extended internationally, and we would have the complete global currency reset. Well, that would theoretically be within 48 hours of sometime last Saturday. Now, I can't speak to that. However, what we are getting is that the intermediate groups, certainly the farmers' claims, other adjudicated settlements, and there are many inside, I think there's like 18 adjudicated settlements that either have been or about to be paid out. And then we have the 27 different groups, most of which we know is under the admiral. There are other groups, though. Those are yet to be paid out because contracts that have been let have the provision that for those groups to be paid out, it needs to be in an asset-backed dollar, or what we would say gold-backed dollar. And that would be the USN. And we are currently waiting for that USN to be converted from the USD. And we believe that transaction is supposed to take place either yet today or tonight. And that's a very big deal because it's taking us from a fiat currency, the U.S. dollar, USD, to an asset-backed, at least gold-backed or partially gold-backed in a good percentage, an asset-backed dollar known as the USN, with the currency coming out, the new money, the actual bills coming out as USTN, United States Treasury notes, which have been printed. Okay, we have the new notes, the banks have the new notes, and the redemption centers have the new notes. And those are going to be ready to be dispersed whenever that is designed to come out. The new coins, as I mentioned to you before, they pulled all the old coins they could get in, pulled the silver out of them, and reminted new half dollars, quarters, and dimes with the proper amount of silver in each coin. And my understanding is the new coins have been delivered to the banks. I know some were delivered a week ago, Sunday, and some were delivered, in that same time frame to other banks. So we did get confirmation on that. As far as our timing, once that conversion is made, that's when the core group, that's when the Tier 4A groups can be notified. When I say notified, they're notified by email or by phone, in some cases, phone calls, and then they'll be able to access and see their accounts as hydrated, and then they'll be able to go to the bank and get access to a certain amount of those funds. That is what we're expecting to happen in the next day or so. We also received word that there was a 48-hour clock that started at 1 p.m. today, whereby within that 48 hours, which would end at Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time on this, Eastern, that within that time frame, everybody that we're talking about, all the groups, including us, would be started and have funds that we could get access to. So we are in that 48-hour window now. And it sounds pretty significant to me, and I was very pleased to hear that that was the situation. We've thought for a long time that we should be there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it looks like we should have something within that 3-day period based on the 1 p.m. clock start today, Eastern time. 48 hours is pretty easy to figure that out. So I'm very, very happy about that. It looks like this is going to finally come through for us. Now, we do think that there are groups that need to be paid out. We know that emails are supposed to go out with coordinates and numbers in them so that we can set our appointments. We know that the Redemption Center staff was in early today, but then were sent home after 1:30. We know they're coming in at 9 tomorrow. And we don't know, but I think we're looking at the possibility of something major happening for us either tomorrow or Thursday. So we'll see how that manifests. We'll see how that comes along. I'm very excited that this apparently is coming down to the wire. And we know that as far as we talked about this too before. We talked about what are you going to do if you're a Zim holder for the first 90 days? let them know kind of how much you need. That's until the structured payout begins to pay you out interest, and then in the 91st day, the first day being the day of your exchange, then 90 days later than that, you would be able to receive your first interest payment. I've told you guys I'm planning to use a spillover account with my main bank as the account where the interest would be placed into, or spilled over from the Motherlode account into that secondary account with the main bank and the Motherlode bank. Now, we talked about if you were not a ZIM holder, you could get access to up to $250,000. No, check that. Check me. Negative. You could get up to $250 million in the first 90 days. If you're a ZIM holder, I said you could get up to $500 million in the first 90 days. Now, that is really for people who are not doing programs, who are not doing projects. The project holders, like most of us on this call, and the people that are working with Sue, for example, the project participants will get a larger percentage than those monies. They should be able to get and ask for between 8 and 10% of the total to be available to them right away to last for the first 90 or 91 days. Think of it between 8 and 10%. If you have projects, and if you're also a ZIM holder, obviously, because the numbers are very, very big. So, it's easy to figure 8 to 10% of your total. What you don't know, of course, is what you'll be able to negotiate for. And I know that we will have some limits from what I understand, but you have to go in strong and negotiate your ZIM rate. See what they offer you. Try to negotiate a fair rate that you're happy with at your first appointment. You can't do that. You're not happy for some reason. You can possibly set a secondary appointment later on. They don't really want you doing that in the first week to 10 days because they're trying to get everybody in and get all the exchanges done and all the ZIM redemption done in that period of time that we've talked about. Now, tomorrow is Wednesday, then you've got the 8th, which is Thursday. I don't know how much time they're going to give us to exchange before the public starts. Probably give us at least 8 to 10 days to do our exchanges before the public would start. They were looking at starting the public on the 15th, but I don't know that would give us enough time now. I'll bet you that gets pushed back a few more days for the public. Not for us. We're looking good. We're looking really strong right now. So keep that in mind, that you will be able to receive between, say, 8 to 10% of your total if you have projects and if you are redeeming your ZIM. If you're also someone who is not completely satisfied with what you have written down for your projects and you think you could there's no thinking you could benefit. It's knowing that you could benefit from a world-class presentation session with Sue. If you've been listening to the rest of the call, you know just how valuable she is to our community and just how hard she's worked to allow all of our listeners who subscribe to a session with her to get the very best possible rate that they can get. She's absolutely a genius when it comes to putting these projects together. Now, you need to have your own concepts. You need to have your own ideas written down in some form or fashion, even if it's just bulletproof bullet point outline. Okay, but Sue can take and create a masterpiece from your notes. And that's what she's been doing for a year now with our listeners. And I've lost track how many sessions she's had, but it's quite a few. It's well over, gosh, is it over 410 or so? It's quite a few sessions. Quite a few. So you've got a limited amount of time, it appears, to get in touch with her. If you're interested in getting up with her, it'll cost you $165 for an individual person for a session. And then if you have more people to add, you can add 1, 2, or 3 more people for $45 per person additional, plus the 165. Okay, so 165 plus the 45 plus 45 plus 45, for example, would be 300 for a group of 4. And if you divided that by 4, you'd have $75 a piece, is how much they would have to contribute. So once you have a PayPal account, and by the way, not PayPal check or any of this other stuff, it's get the PayPal account where you can fund her with your PayPal account. Send an email right away, like tonight. And the email address is integratedminds@hushmail.com. Well, Bruce, how do you spell integrated? Well, it's INTEGRATED. Integrated. Minds, MINDS, @hushmail.com. Make sure you have your cell phone number in the text of the email, along with your city and state, so we can figure out what time zone you're in. And keep an eye on your emails. Watch them frequently so that when Sue responds back to you by email or by text, you're able to see it and process whatever she's asking you to do then, okay? So it's this is probably your last chance, by what it looks like, to get in touch with her. So she's working with a number of people, but she's got a list, and she'll put you on it and see if she can get to you. Now, once this goes, and we have numbers, we have the emails to set our appointments and start, we're supposed to set and start within an hour and a half after the first numbers come out. So it's going to be a pretty quick process. Once those numbers come out, she won't be able to do any more sessions, and she also won't be able to email you back. It'll just, they might as well just go into the dead email file. So don't send her any emails after this goes. All right? Now, I think everybody should jump all over it. If there's time for her to help you, she'll make the time if she can. All right? I want to say that it's a big thanks to everybody that has listened for these 9 years on the Big Call. I really appreciate the faithfulness of the audience of our listeners, who you people are, the fact that you're looking to work together to make changes and to level the playing field all around the country and even around the globe. Thank you for the future that we're creating together. And thank you for the faith that you've had to stick with this. It hasn't been an easy ride. And I've told you guys for years to stay with your plan A until plan B comes in.